Ladies and gentlemen, live from the West Bank of the Flats, it's the Cleveland Sports 360 show with your host, LG Larry Gleekin. Today on the show, we have no other than former Browns running back, my man Herman Fontenot, and also former Browns wide receiver, no other than Reggie Langhorne. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I bring to you LG.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Cleveland Sports 360 show, coming at you live from the West Bank of the Flats, as we do each and every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. As my man Kenyon Johnson said back there tonight, we have the great Herman Fontenot coming live from Beaumont, Texas, and one of the greatest receivers that we know from the Cleveland Browns, Reggie Langhorne, will be joining us around 6:30 p.m. I want to touch on something that you really got to look at with a little bit of a heavy heart today, folks. Northeast Ohio had a tragic incident take place at Chardon High School. At 7:38 this morning, a kid walks into school with a gun and starts shooting people in the cafeteria, and sadly enough, one died at Metro Health Hospital after being life-flighted there with a gunshot wound to the head. I'm pretty sure that's what the reports were. The other two people that were flown to Metro Hospital are in critical condition, also suffering gunshot wounds to the head, is the report I received. If I have any information incorrect, I apologize, but let's send all the prayers out to the families in Chardon, Ohio this evening, and let's pray that they get some kind of a peace, and please honor the wishes of the family with the deceased son at 16 years old, and let them have their private time, let them grieve, and let's try to help the community in a whole get through this. I want to bash a little bit of Mike Trivisano today too, man, because this guy, I mean, what the hell's wrong with Mike Trivisano? Here's a guy that's been sitting around talking, and he's known everything for years, and he has the gall to say, well, this isn't from guns. Well, Mr. Trivisano, I beg to differ with you, man. First of all, the kid used a gun, and he shot 10 times in a cafeteria loaded with high school students that were, many of them were just waiting for their bus to take them to Auburn Career Center. These are people that were young, just starting their life out. How do you sit there, Trivisano, and say it's not from guns? I agree, it's the people that kill, but it's the guns that help them do it. And I'm not anti-gun by any sense of the word. I really believe in the United States we have to toughen up the laws, and if a parent owns a firearm and they have children in the house, anybody 18 years or younger, and they get their hands on the parent's firearms and do anything, the parent should be charged as an accessory to the crime. That's the only way you're going to see these gun laws take effect. And most of the time when there's a crime committed with a gun, unfortunately, it's an illegal firearm in the first place. But, you know, for a guy like Triv to sit back and say, well, it's not the guns, it's the people. You know what it is? It is the gun, because without the gun, this kid would have had a harder time. Another thing we got to start paying attention to is social media. Reports circulating all day long that this kid tweeted last night that he was going to bring a firearm to school today and he was going to shoot people. You know, we need a zero tolerance on this sort of thing, folks. If you ever see somebody tweeting that they're taking a firearm to school and they're going to do some damage to somebody, you have to take that seriously, even if it turns out to be a joke. You know, an ounce of prevention is worth so many pounds of cure in a case like this. You just got to take it seriously. Again, let's send our prayers and our thoughts out to the people of Chardon, Ohio tonight. You know, it's a sad day, and Chardon's a community that is sitting back thinking none of this could ever happen here. Well, folks, this is 2012, and I hate to tell you that this sort of an incident can take place anywhere, man. It could be, you know, you see it happen at your local McDonald's. I mean, right around the corner from where I live, a lady went to McDonald's with a gun and wanted to shoot people, and the Willowick police ended up shooting her. But, I mean, this sort of thing can happen anywhere, anytime. and anyone is capable of committing a situation like this. What we have to do is pay attention. We have to police our own society today, and we have to take these kind of tweets or Facebook or social media when somebody's talking like this. We have to take it more serious. But really, our condolences go out to the family that lost some loved ones. Our condolences go out to all the wounded victims. There was 5 altogether. 1's deceased. 2 are in critical condition at Metro Health. I don't know what happened to the other 2. They're still at Hillcrest Hospital in Mayfield. And let's let our prayers lift up the community of Chardon, Ohio this evening, folks. And Triv, if you're out there listening, you really got to sharpen up your act a little bit, and you really got to start preaching. These people that own firearms have to guard against getting them into juveniles' hands. There's your lesson for today, Mike Trivisano. As we said earlier, we're going to be talking Browns draft tonight with 2 great Browns players. These guys had the luxury of being on a team that was loaded with talent, man. I mean, you know, we have Herman Fontenot. He was a running back. He was a special teams player. I don't know if you caught the show back in November. We were lucky enough to catch Herman Fontenot. He came down. Both Herman Fontenot and Reggie Langhorne, they work for a charity, a foundation, the Eddie Johnson Memorial Foundation, which takes care of people. It doesn't matter if you're suffering from cancer, maybe you have paralysis, who knows, even in a case like this where people get shot. The Eddie Johnson Memorial Foundation is a foundation that reaches out and helps people that have some sort of an incident. So with all that being said, we're gonna talk a little bit with these guys, and we're gonna see what's going on, and hopefully we're gonna get a grasp of what they think the Cleveland Browns need to get on this team to make sure that the draft goes as well as can be expected. I know they don't have any control over what Tom Heckert's going to do on draft day, and that's another thing we want to let you people know. Maybe a lot of you read it. Tom Heckert fell ill last week. He had to have an emergency surgery. He wasn't even able to make it to the combine in Indianapolis. From what I've heard, I think it was maybe a heart situation, and he had to have emergency surgery. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Tom Heckert, and hopefully he can come back. Obviously, he's doing well. The team's not letting out any details because it does have to do with his personal health, and it's really not a team issue. So with that being said, we wish Tom Heckert from the Cleveland Browns a speedy recovery. Hopefully he's coached enough people, Mike Holmgren's over there, and if Tom Heckert's not available, which I'm sure he will be available come draft day because he's got a whole another month to go, he's probably got enough people underneath him that they know what they're doing. Now, whether the Browns can get in position to get Robert Griffin III, Kenyon, that's going to be, that remains to be seen, man. I mean,
don't get my blood pressure high, man.
Well, let's get your blood pressure high. And it's not that I am anti-RG3. I love the guy. I would love to see RG3 here, but number one, I think the Indianapolis Colts are going to shock the hell out of a lot of people when they pass over Andrew Luck and they take RG3, man.
I don't think they're going to pass up Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck did pretty well in the NFL.
Who's the best athlete in this draft?
The best quarterback in this draft, hands down to me, is Robert Griffin III.
There you have it. And if you have the number 1 draft pick,
right,
what are you taking, man?
But you got to realize who they're giving up. They're giving up Peyton Manning. Andrew Luck is close
what
to
are you
a clone.
saying?
As close to a clone as Peyton Manning there is. I don't think they're going to passing up Andrew Luck would be a huge gamble, because he was supposed to be number 1 last year. I don't think the Colts are going to do that.
Well, I'm not so sure that I don't think that Irsay wants another clone of Peyton Manning. I think that Irsay wants to have a guy like RG3.
Indianapolis, the fans would demolish Irsay if they don't pick up Andrew Luck. That's the guy that they've been wanting all season. I mean, even though Robert Griffin III did what he had to do, he's definitely going to be he's going to go number 1.
I'm going to see if I can get Irsay on the phone. We're going to discuss this. Hey, we're trying to get you on the phone when we call you back. Right. Okay, we're gonna call you back and you pick it up, okay? That wasn't Mr. Ursi. He's not available. They said he's not gonna pick up the phone. But really, if I got the number 1 draft pick, I'm taking RG3. I don't care if I'm the Cleveland Browns. I don't care if I'm Jim Ursi in Indianapolis. And I tell you, Ursi came out last week and he says, I'm going to give away a Beamer to anybody that can guess the first 32 first-round picks correctly. And there's no way that Jim Ursi, I think he's going to throw a wrench into the pile here, man, and he's going to say, hey, I'm taking RG3, even though they think, I do believe that Luck is a clone of Peyton Manning, but I think you need a guy like RG3 today. Now, in the Browns situation, we need a few guys to fill the gaps. We not only need a quarterback that can play the kind of football that RG3 is capable of playing. Hey, is this my buddy Herman Fontenot coming in from Beaumont, Texas?
Yes, it is.
Herman, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine. I can barely hear you, but I'm doing fine.
Okay, well, I'll scream. How's that? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Herman, tell us a little bit. What's going on, man? You've been down there for about, what, 2 months now?
Well, actually, I've been down here since January 17th. Out here with the family, taking care of my grand, as I said, I was coming down here to do. And got the fellas downstairs and cooking for this hometown smoke barbecue I'm doing right now.
Hey, in case you're just tuning in to the Cleveland Sports 360 show, live on the telephone all the way from Beaumont, Texas, former Cleveland Browns running back Herman Fontenot is good enough to join us tonight. So, Herman, how does it feel being back in Beaumont, a place that you grew up? You were raised by your grandmother. You have your family around you now. I know you missed them. You were up here for, what, 30 years, Herman?
Since 1985, so that's about 27 years or so.
So how does it feel to be back home?
Well, you know, there's no place like home. I'm just really appreciating having the opportunity to hang out with my nieces and nephews and my grandmother and mom and brother. And Beaumont, beautiful place. You got the Gulf of Mexico, about five minutes away. Do a little fishing, a little crabbing, you know, a little shrimping, and good food, good people, hometown, you know.
Must be good to have all that love wrapped back around you, Herman, huh?
It's a lot of love, man. I'm actually a place that where my grandmother is. There's a lot of folks out here who, you know, they're older, wheelchair bound, bunch of lovely old ladies out here that get a chance to feed and run errands for and bring smiles on their faces and do some of the things for these folks that I've been doing abroad.
So, Herman, do you have anything you want to say back to your to all your friends in Cleveland? You know, a lot of people are missing you, man, but they know you're out there doing your duty. You're helping your grandmother out, who was beneficial in raising you, and she did a heck of a job bringing up a fine gentleman by the name of Herman Fontenot. And what do you got to say to all your friends back here in Cleveland?
Well, I stay in communication with them as much as I can, but you know, the real friends out there we're close with, as I always do, when I'm up there, I call back home. Now that I'm down here, I call them as well up there in Cleveland. Of course, there's not a lot of activity going on around here as far as sports and entertainment, but I didn't come out here for sports and entertainment. It's really got me grounded, and like I said, it's been since 1981 since I've been home, and I'm starting to enjoy just the simple things in life, food and family, and you know, build a relationship that may have suffered a little bit because I've been gone for 27 years with my brother, and my sister and I get together, and it's a wonderful thing when you are surrounded with personalities such as yourself. You know, my personality, their personality is all the same. They like to give, they like to cook, they like to treat people well and have people over, and you know, those things for me are what I've always done. When you're building foundations, being a part of foundation, you're bringing people together to help people out there that are in need, that may need anything. So the Lord knows just they need it as well. So I just like being in a position that you need it, you know, and if it's something they want me to do, I got the energy to get it done.
Yeah, I was just mentioning a little bit about the Eddie Johnson Memorial Foundation. I don't know if you heard the news, Herman. We had a big tragedy happen in Chardon High School this afternoon. 30 miles east of Cleveland. A gunman, a student, walked in this morning and shot 5 people.
Oh, man, I had no idea, Larry.
Yeah, and
I had no idea.
one 16-year-old died at the hospital from a gunshot wound to the head. There's 2 critical in the hospital right now, and I was introducing you guys. Reggie Langhorne's going to follow you tonight on the Cleveland Sports 360 show, and I was telling them that the Eddie Johnson Memorial Foundation helps people that get injured or had cancer or whatever. So, this is a situation where maybe somebody's going to come out of this not doing as well as they should have, and who knows? That's where the Eddie Johnson Memorial Foundation comes in and maybe build some wheelchair ramps or what have you, right?
Well, what they do is, the foundation is not just by my choice, but they really get letters from people all over, from mainly Ohio area. It's just basically they try to support the people out there who are dealing with cancer in some way. It might be family member, friend, or somebody, because that's what took Eddie's life, and they all have rules and regulations and guidelines on the things they want to do as far as supplying funds to those folks out there that are in need, and it's just dealing with cancer. We can't, like many organizations, you have mission statements, so we can't really support everyone, but, with the funds that have been raised, we distribute accordingly to the, like I said, to the letters that I sent in to the Eddie Johnson Memorial Foundation, and they make these decisions as a board. So.
Yeah, it was a real tragedy today, just like Columbine all over, but close to home. So, Herman, I was saying a little later tonight we're going to have your buddy Reggie Langhorne join us on the Cleveland Sports 360 show. That's going to be a real treat having Reggie. But me and Kenyon been going back and forth a little bit here about the Cleveland Browns' upcoming draft, Herman. And Kenyon is hell bent on bringing Robert Griffin III to Cleveland, man. What do you think of that, Herman?
Well, I left that message on Facebook. Some of the people thought I was crazy, but look, this kid is Superman. And they're finding out how smart he is, how strong he is. I mean, you just can't beat it. You need some excitement in that city. You need someone that get the ball in their hands. There's no one's open. The boys running 4-4s and all this stuff. He's throwing the ball into the field. He's very educated, very sharp. It's excitement. Cleveland needs a pro bowler. They need someone on the offensive side to take it to the next level. If you can't hand off to Peyton Hillis or whoever it may be, he dropped back and they can run like a Cam Newton. This kid is incredible. Why not take him? I don't know, Colt McCoy is a good kid. But let's face it, man, this guy's the best athlete in a long time with that type of ability that's going to have that ball in his hand 100% of the time. And it got to go through him to get distributed. I'll take him.
Herman, did Kenyon call you earlier today and write this all down for you?
Oh, no way. I mean, I have an eye for talent, I was surrounded around great talent.
Hold on, Kenyon's smiling word from
Herman, you've actually said word for word what I've been saying for months about this kid. Can you tell the people that's actually listening so you can explain to them what, during game week, the difference between practicing as a defense for Colt McCoy and practicing as a defense for Robert Griffin III?
Well, you're not going to be worried about Colt running away from him for one. You're not really going to be worried about Colt throwing a deep ball. I say, look, if the kid drops back and compare deep, if you're covered, he's going to run out of sight. What they find out right now is how intelligent he is. No disrespect to Colt. I'm pretty sure he's an intelligent kid. But you just cannot deny the skills and abilities. Sometimes you get a little stagnated out there in Cleveland on what type of player they want. They've been wanting certain type of players, but they're just not panning out. This kid is the best athlete in the draft. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. Why we gonna pass up all these players for the last 20 years? How many guys can you think of that been drafted number 1 overall, number 2, 3, or 4, or 5th pick? Where are they now? That's what I keep asking. There's no one around the league that ever come through Cleveland that anybody know anything of. Whether they get drafted here or not, they're not playing anywhere. They're not making a difference. This kid will make a difference. All the running backs that have been drafted over the last 15 years, where are they now? And there are other teams that are making big things happen. Cleveland players that have been drafted, I don't know what one of them is that's making a difference.
Well, you
drafting some good players.
You hit the nail right on the head of all the big time. Tim Couch is out of football, and Brady Quinn's barking up.
All of them. All of them.
We never had the. Hopefully, we have a regime in place now. I mean, you played with an intelligent quarterback by the name of Bernie Kosar, so you know. Herman Fontenot knows how vital a part of a team an intelligent quarterback is. I mean. Nobody was any smarter on the field than Bernie Kosar. Is that about right, Herman?
Well, I'm not even talking about just the quarterback position, man. Let's talk about running backs, wide receivers, safeties. Where are all the big-time wide receivers, running backs, safeties, linebackers? All these guys have been drafted over the last 15 years that Cleveland's had. Where are they now? Now, all the teams have dropped over the last 15 years. The players they have are still on their teams. They're making the Pro Bowls and they're making their teams win. It's about time to get unsatisfied with 4 and 5 wins a season. I'm not just talking about from a selfish athlete point of view. I'm talking about all the businesses downtown. How much are they suffering? We keep having these losing seasons, and these guys they're not making a difference.
Well,
they're not making a difference.
You're definitely going to put some fans in the seats, and you're going to get these establishments some business down here if we can get RG3 to Cleveland. The problem is, Herman, I think RG's going to be the first. I think he's going to be the first-round draft pick this year, man. Number 1.
You're talking about the first pick? We went hey.
I think
well, that could pose a little problem. But I'm thinking that Indianapolis want a Peyton Manning-style quarterback. And that's who the kid Andrew Luck may be that type of quarterback.
Well, he's definitely.
I don't know.
He's definitely a clone of Peyton. But it was funny the other day. RG3's coming out now, and he's pleading his case how he would be enjoying holding a clipboard on the sideline with learning from Peyton Manning.
I don't think Peyton Manning's going to do that, brothers. I don't think Peyton Manning may not play again, if you ask me. He mess around with his livelihood if he does. That neck, he can't be for sure. It's not like a knee.
Right.
Somebody's neck.
Yeah, you can risk paralysis coming from the neck like that.
And I had multiple surgeries on that neck. I don't know. I wouldn't take a chance on that. I'm just thinking about the boy from Baylor. Let's get him out here. Whatever you want to call him, G3, G4.
Well, we got to get RG3. You'll give them all the numbers, huh, Herman? We got to get RG3, and then we need some playmakers to go along with him, man. Because you're right. I mean,
first.
Yeah, we got to get him. We definitely need some wide receivers.
Something.
Yeah, but I tell you right now, I'm thinking that Jim Irsay has his eye on RG3. Believe it or not, man.
Well, I wouldn't. Why not?
I mean, he is the best athlete.
I mean, why not? He's the best one.
He is. He's the best athlete.
He's the best one in the draft, hands down.
Well, there you have it, man. So, Herman, let's get off the Browns for a second. I know when you were traveling back down to Beaumont, did you swing by and did you see the LSU game, or were you there for that?
Well, I drove down, I think it was a Saturday morning, a Friday morning, drove to New Orleans Saturday, met with my friends, I've been knowing for quite some time, and I didn't really go down into the mess of all of the city stuff had to offer. That New Orleans Saints was playing, LSU Tigers was playing. I just wanted to get home and to where my destination was in New Orleans. I stayed there 10 days. I relaxed. I had some friends that I visit with. And just stayed around the house and watched the games on TV. It was nice for me to be around these group of friends that I've been missing, just for all of us to get together and cook out and watch the games. It was just too crazy, lad. Way too crazy for me. And that's not what I was coming out here for in the first place. I can always go down to New Orleans because New Orleans is like that every weekend.
Oh, absolutely.
And every event. Once they lost in the playoff New Orleans Saints, those people are already putting up stages for the Mardi Gras. Trust me, folks out here will find a reason to get together, get some food, and have a good time. It doesn't matter about the sporting event. That's a weekly, daily event in their lives.
Well, that's it. Me and Kenyon, we're gonna jump in the car and come down visit you, right, Kenyon?
I'm inviting them all. I'm inviting my friends. They need to come down here to New Orleans and visit me so we can, get a piece of this Southern life and see how nice it really is.
Okay, we're gonna take you up on that one of these days, Herman. Hey, Herman, I want to thank you so very, very much for shedding the light on this RG3. It really does open up my eyes a little bit. And I'm just afraid he's not going to be there when the Browns get the draft pick. And I hope Tom Heckard can pull a little magic and maybe get this guy. But we definitely need to change the Cleveland Browns' direction the way it's going now, man. But Herman, thanks for joining the Cleveland Sports 360 show. We really appreciate it. Anytime you can talk to us, Herman. And you take care of your grandmother, and I know you're down there sharing the love with your family, and I'm proud of you, man. Keep up the good work, and we'll be talking to you real soon, okay, Herman?
Right on, man. You and Kenyon, you did a great job, man. And Kenyon, too. I haven't talked to you in a while, but you keep up the good work as well. And, of course, I'm pulling for the Browns, and I may make a game or two this year. Who knows? But right now, my focus primarily is on building back this family and enjoying the second half of my life, I like to say.
Well, thank you, Herman. And anytime you come to Cleveland to catch a game, make sure you stay for a Monday night Cleveland Sports 360 show. We'd be honored to have you anytime, buddy.
You got it, buddy. Well, have a great day.
Take care, Herman.
Okay, Herman. Peace out. We'll talk to you soon, man. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Herman Fontenot, all the way from Beaumont, Texas, moved back to put his family back together, taking care of his grandmother. She raised a mighty fine gentleman with Herman Fontenot. And you heard it right from Herman's mouth. And this guy was on winning Browns team. I mean, I swear to God, I thought Kenyon Johnson wrote it down, mailed it to him, and he read it back to me, man.
Hey, you know what? I can respect, and this is why I'm so frustrated, because I really, really can respect people that really know the game and really know what the Browns want. And I'm telling you, man, it's something about these fans that I don't know why Colt McCoy. It's even in the same sentence as Robert Griffin III. They're just completely different players.
It's not that you can put Colt McCoy in my book. You cannot put Colt McCoy in the same sentence as Robert Griffin. But what I am saying is that's who the Browns have. Now, will Colt be here even when the season starts? I can't tell you that, Kenyon. I don't know how the hell the Browns are going to get themselves in the position not to miss getting RG3.
Yeah, they have it. I mean, if the Browns want to make a move, they have all the pieces to it. I mean, there's no way St. Louis is going to pass up a number 22 pick and a number 4 pick, and I'll even throw in that second-round pick, the number 37. I don't care about 2 extra players when I know I can get free agents, and I know I got other draft picks coming up in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round. I don't care about all that, man. Right now, we need a playmaker on that offensive side. We don't have it at all.
We have 0 playmakers on the offensive side of the ball.
So why not, like you said, why not have that playmaker be the one that holds the ball 95% of the time?
And get a can and stick them for Greg Little and Mohamed Massaquoi, you know?
I'm going to tell you one thing. And this may sound crazy, but having a better quarterback under center makes your wide receivers have a hell of a lot more confidence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, let's roll into a commercial, Kenyon, and when we come back, we're going to get on the phone with another famous Cleveland Brown, that definitely knows a little bit about catching the football. Mr. Reggie Langhorn's going to join us live right here on the Cleveland Sports 360 show. Don't forget, tax time's right around the corner. This is the greatest time of your life to think about doing something for retirement. Get a hold of Vicky Manarino over at Raymond James, 440-516-7550, or toll-free 888-289-7550. Vicky Manarino, Raymond James Financial, will sit down with you and make a lifelong plan that you can abide by to help you save for retirement. I don't know if you've ever noticed, we have Dr. Nick Fratantonio, Highland Dental Professionals, is one of our sponsors on the Cleveland Sports 360 show. Dr. Nick is a TMJ expert. If you have a jaw that hurts, popping, maybe you got it injured doing some athletic activities, you got to get a hold of Highland Dental Professionals. There's not too many guys like Nick Fratantonio around the area. We're going to be right back in about 2 minutes with Reggie Langhorn right here live on the Cleveland Sports 360 show. 2 minutes.
Because I've lost my faith in the human race. I wanna go. I woke up this morning and I heard it on the news. No, it was really just couldn't be true. So I decided then and there to hear it straight from you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cleveland Sports 360 show, coming at you live from Streaming Sports Talk right here on the West Bank of the Flats. Live on the telephone, joining us, Browns former wide receiver, Reggie Langhorne. Reggie, how are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Enjoying this nice weather we're having up on.
Oh, yeah, this is winter in Cleveland, man. We don't get many like this, do we, buddy?
Not at all, but I mean, it's been a mild winter. Someone said it would be 80 inches of snow. We haven't gotten half of that, so I'm very happy about it.
I think we got it in rain, though, Reg. We just got off the phone with your buddy down there in Beaumont, Texas, Mr. Herman Fontenot, and we talked a little bit Cleveland Browns draft coming up with Herman, and Herman's sold, I thought it was a Kenyon Johnson from Unsportsmanlike Conduct clone today. Word for word, he repeated Kenyon's feelings. What are your feelings what the Browns should do in the upcoming draft, Reggie?
Well, you know, there's no question or doubt about them being able to or trying to achieve as much as they can on the offensive side of the ball. You had a nice defense that played good last year, and obviously they can play better if they're not on the field as much. We got to score points. I'm not completely against Colt McCoy or anything that he's done. I like the character of the man, but the bottom line, we got to make sure we can score points, and you got to get the talent around him. We got to tighten up on the right side of the line. And if Phillips leaves, then we got to find somebody that can run the football, because I'm not sold on the guy that's backing him up. So going after that, everyone's the question, should we get RG3? Yeah, if he's there at 4. If not, I'm not willing to give up so much to get another quarterback. I mean, then we got to go out and try to get us, you know, some of those free agent wide receivers. Obviously, there's a great addition to our team, and we can pick up a guy like that, Vincent Jackson from San Diego, or Colston in New Orleans. You still got Wes Welker, who's going to be looking for a job if Belichick decides to let him go. So there's some quality wide receivers that can help us score points. You got Tate down in Houston. It'd be nice if we could package up some kind of a deal to get a nice back like him if we lose Hillis. So there's a number of variations that take place during the draft, and all I know is it doesn't really matter who fits the system. It's just, can they get the job done come September? We can write it up 100 different ways and make decisions and all that, but what core of guys that will be able to play together in September and score points is the key factor.
So, Reggie Langhorne, you're not really sold on getting rid of all these draft picks just to bring RG3 here to Cleveland. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not so sold on selling a lot of draft picks to ever get a college player. I mean, it happens time in and time out. Drafting college players are coin toss. I mean, you got a lot of guys that can play in different drafts. They get rated in different areas. Now, what he is probably the best athlete in the draft. There's no question about that. But at the same time, our need is so huge. Will one guy make that much of a difference right now? I mean, yeah, obviously we need some other things. And are you willing to give up 2 or 3 first-round picks to go get a guy that is still going to be a rookie, still going to be on a system that he's not for sure if he's able to run? So, no, I'm not willing to put everything on the line for that. I'm willing to go get 2 or 3 more players, and let's see where we can go from there. We got some veteran quarterbacks out there. How they package it up is up to them. I mean, I know no more than the next guy as far as what they need. All I know that in September, when it's time for the clock to go at 1 o'clock on a Sunday, whatever they decide to do, the guys got to be ready to play ball.
Reggie, one more question before we wrap this up. We know you're busy, but Reggie Langhorne, you know a little bit about catching the football, and do you think the Cleveland Browns are in desperate need of a guy that can go out there and make receptions and help this offense?
Oh, we're in desperate need of 3 guys that can go out and catch the football. I mean, Josh held his own this year, but, you know, nothing against Josh, but he may not be the number 1 or number 2 receiver on anybody else's team. You got the young kid that came from Carolina who played pretty decent, but yet we do not have a stud receiver. I mean, we need 2 guys that can separate. I mean, you wonder why Colt has so many bad passes, tip passes. A lot of guys aren't creating space for themselves, and that goes back into the wide receivers' hands. I mean, we've got to find some guys that can make plays. How many plays did we see this year where a guy actually caught the ball and ran for 30 or 40 yards after the catch? Not very many. They were tackled immediately.
Absolutely.
That means defenders are very close to the wide receivers. So, yeah, we need a lot of help. It's just depending what direction this organization decides to go to getting those players.
Well, we were blessed when Reggie Langhorne played for the Cleveland Browns. You were one of the best at the time, and you were blessed to have Slaughter on the other side, Brian Brennan, Reggie Langhorne. I mean, you guys were a talented group of receivers, and I wanted to hear your opinion. Like Greg Little, he's good, but he needs a lot of work, and dropping 6 passes in one game certainly doesn't help. Hey, Reggie,
Well,
thank you. You got anything else you want to add, Reg?
Yeah, you know what? I don't hold that against Greg Little. Young guys make mistakes, and I don't want to put that and let that damper his future. I remember Jerry Rice dropping a lot of balls, and they talked bad about him as a rookie. He came back and proved them all wrong. Terrell Owens was the same way. These guys both caught 800 or 900 balls in their past. So I try not to dwell on what a guy did in the past. I like to try to look forward to what he possibly can do. And if he works and trains and get his game better, you may not see that happen again ever.
Well, maybe they need to bring Reggie Langhorne down there to help him out a little bit and show him how to catch a football. What do you think, Reg?
Well, I got no problem with a job working with my Brandon Orange. I love him still the same.
Absolutely, man. Hey, Reggie, we thank you so much for joining us here on the Cleveland Sports 360 show. We know you're busy tonight. We look forward to one of these days you give me a call, buddy, and we'll get you down here live in the studio. How's that sound?
I got no problem with that. Thank you guys for listening to my words. And I hope things work out for the organization. Things get better. All the way. Go Browns.
Go Browns. Thank you so much, Reggie. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Reggie Langhorne joining us live right here on the Cleveland Sports 360 show. Reggie says we need playmakers, Kenyon.
Yeah, Reggie says we need playmakers, and like Herman told you, like Herman Fontenot told you, the playmaker is Robert Griffin III. That's your playmaker. That's the problem that I have with, not everybody keeps saying playmakers, but the question I ask them next is, okay, you don't take Robert Griffin III. Who are you taking? Who are your playmakers? No one can answer that. No one can tell me.
You know why they can't answer the question?
The thing they say is Justin Blackmon, a guy who everybody, for some reason, thinks he's 6'6". He's 6'1".
Well, hold on a minute. You just heard one of the greats of all time in the Browns.
I don't care.
No, wait.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you what he said. When you talk about Blackmon,
right,
or you talk about Trent Richardson,
right,
you just heard Reggie Langhorne say you can't put all your money on any player coming out of college.
Right. Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you, LG, and everyone else out there. When people say that the Browns are going to give up one extra pick to get Robert Griffin III, because that's all it is, one extra first-round pick. A pick normally we wouldn't have in any other year, but we came up and got an extra pick on Atlanta's pick. So who cares if we only get one first-round pick? That's what we normally get.
I don't care if we only get one first-round pick.
What extra first-round? I mean, how's it really going to help us?
Hold on a minute, though. Let me ask you a question.
Right.
Are you banking that this RG3 can come out of college? Are you saying he'll be the starter come September for the?
You telling me he can't beat out Colt McCoy and Seneca Wallace?
Well, I've done, but
yes, he will be your starter come first game day, most definitely. Because number one, if we draft Robert Griffin III, you know what Colt McCoy is doing on his couch at home NFL draft day? You know what he's saying?
Tell us.
He like, hell no, I can't believe this. I'm done. I'm done.
I don't think Colt McCoy's resting real easy right now, regardless of draft day or not. His stock in the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback position is
LG. We've had Browns backers on here. You had New Browns music. You've had the pumpkin backers here. You've had so many diehard Browns fans here, and all they want is a winner. If that is the case, no one can tell me why we shouldn't pass up Robert Griffin, but we got extra draft picks. We have extra draft picks. I don't want to give that up.
Well, I don't.
Stupid
like you said, I mean, I never said we. Here's what I'm saying. I don't know if we have enough to give up to get RG3. I throw in the whole ball of wax, man. Give him Peyton Hillis, too.
I know. I would throw in my other first-round pick. You notice I say my other because I am going to get that pick. I'll throw in my other first-round pick, and I'll throw in my second-round pick.
You think we're going to get Robert Griffin III at number 2?
I think actually, I don't even think that we may not have to move up to number 2 because if Washington ends up getting possibly a Flynn, possibly Peyton Manning, now it opens up, it levels out the field, so he may still be there at 4. But as Cleveland Browns organization, can you take that risk? Can you take that risk to wait to number 4 for a franchise-changing quarterback, someone that's going to bring you? If he was on this team last year, he would have brought you 3 extra wins. You would have won those close games.
Absolutely,
He's
man.
the difference makers.
Absolutely.
Think how many close
we're on
games
the frickin' 1 yard line or the 2 yard line Thursday night against Pittsburgh,
right?
And we came to get with Peyton Hillis, the Madden cover boy, who everybody's up in arms about. He can't even run in a frickin' end zone for a touchdown On the 3-yard line or the 2-yard line. Are you kidding me?
And like people's argument, LG, is we need playmakers. Bring in a Justin Blackman.
No,
But,
I said we need
for
somebody.
a wide receiver. I think Greg Little showed you all this year. It's a lot hard for a wide receiver to get adjusted to the NFL, probably more than a quarterback.
Well, don't forget, Greg Little was not a wide receiver, Kenyon. This was his first full year.
Yeah, he was a running back.
Right. So you're putting the guy out of position in the first place, and a couple of plays. He had a couple nice plays. But the thing is, and you've seen it before with guys, with Braylon Edwards, as a matter of fact. All week long during practice, these guys catch ball after ball after ball. Next thing you know, man, they're dropping them on the ground when the game day comes, and that's when you got to make them catches. Now, I'm willing to cut Greg Little a little slack. I think he has what it takes to become a premier wide receiver in the NFL. I say we need one more guy at the wide receiver position. Mohamed Massaquoi, as far as I'm concerned, is done.
No, you need somebody behind the center that your wide receivers respect. Respect. Robert Griffin III is coming into the NFL with respect. Take Cam Newton last year. He came into this with respect. So, I mean, take it as you want it, man. I'm sold on him. I'm really much tired of talking about him.
I hope we can get him. Don't you misquote me. I mean, you misunderstand me, not misquote. I hope my fear is he's not going to be there when we go to pick. And that's the only thing that would, I mean, I don't know what the hell Tom Heckert's thinking or the Cleveland Browns, and I wish we did. When we come back after break, I got a killer question I want to pose to you, Kenyon, and it does concern Robert Griffin III and the Cleveland Browns. We're going to come back with more of the Cleveland Sports 360 show. Hey, if you guys hear the music we're playing in the background, don't forget that's my band, The Rails, with Drew Dolman and Jeremy Willits and Chris on the bass, LG on the drums. Tomorrow night, 10 o'clock, we're playing at the Garage Shop up there in Coventry. We're opening for a national band called Tennis, and it should be a pretty good time. So if you're up and about around the Coventry area tomorrow night at 10 p.m., stop in and see the Rails live. Don't forget, Andalaro's Restaurant. If you haven't been to Willowick lately, you got to make a drive out to Willowick. Hit Andalaro's Restaurant on Lakeshore Boulevard in Willowick. $5.99 all you can eat pasta every Sunday. You're going to be so full when you leave there, it's not even funny. Drinks are reasonably priced. He's got a full bar. Every night during the week, he's got a different special happening. Get on Andalaros.com and check it out, man. And if you like Mexican food, a little further down the road there in Eastlake, right by the river, Jalisco's Mexican, unbelievable. Kenyon, he brought his lovely fiance there. We joined him for dinner. It was phenomenal. Jalisco's, check it out. We'll be right back, 2 minutes, with more of the Cleveland Sports 360 show coming at you live from StreamingSportsTalk.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more of the Cleveland Sports 360 show, coming at you live from StreamingSportsTalk.com each and every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on the west bank of the Flats in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. If you just tuned into the show, we had special guest this evening, Herman Fontenot, former running back from the Cleveland Browns, who is now down in Beaumont, Texas, taking care of his grandmother, who played a big role in Herman's life, and she turned out one fine gentleman. Then we went live on the phone to one of the great receivers the Cleveland Browns ever had, and I'm sorry to say it wasn't these Cleveland Browns, folks. It was the Cleveland Browns that left and went to Baltimore. But Reggie Langhorne, I mean, the guy had over a 785-yard season in 1988, played 2 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and he had over a 1,000-yard season one year there with 85 passes caught, or 1,036 yards, I'm pretty sure it was, and that was his last year, because then the owner came in from the Colts and got rid of every guy on the Colts team that year that was making over $1 million. Can you believe it?
Imagine this, man. You got Reggie Langhorne on one side, Webster Slaughter on the other. You got Brian Brennan as your slot. You got Ozzie Newsome as your tight end, and you got Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack in your backfield, and Bernie Kosar as your quarterback. Phenomenal.
Well, you know, that's the point I'm trying to make. I mean, look at the guys that could do it back then. I mean, you had a football team. It wasn't just one guy you had to rely on, and there was no smarter quarterback that ever graced the NFL than Bernie Kosar. I mean, when Bernie walked up to the line of scrimmage and he saw a blitz coming, he was licking his chops, Kenyon. He said, "Let him blitz me, baby." I love that. Whenever Bernie, and this was an unmobile quarterback, but he could tear you apart with the smarts that this guy possessed to go on the field and play quarterback position for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, we were in the playoffs. I mean, we were one play away from going to the Super Bowl a couple different times, you know, and Bernie always got the job done. He wasn't the best mobile quarterback, but he had a talented group of guys that surrounded him on that team. I mean, we had the fumble by Biner, but other than that, he was a solid running back. Kevin Mack, phenomenal running back. Herman Fontenot, unbelievable. I mean, Herman could throw the football too. You know, when Reggie Langhorne caught 7 touchdown passes, one of them were from the little guy, number 21. What was his name?
Eric Metcalf. That would be Eric Metcalf, right?
Right. Metcalf threw a touchdown to Reggie Langhorne on the 1988 with
Eric Metcalf. I believe he threw a couple touchdowns.
He did.
That was a play. They would do a reverse, and Eric Metcalf would come up and throw. He had a pretty good arm too, man.
He had a real good arm. I mean, we saw him do it a few times.
They destroyed him, though. The Cleveland Browns organization destroyed him by running him up the middle. That was terrible.
Again, you got a question. So let's talk about the Cleveland Browns organization, Kenyon, and let's talk about who's riding the ship right now. And I'm not talking Mike Holmgren or Tom Eckert. I'm talking on the field. We have Shurmur. Are you kidding me, man? Let's just say, for the sake of the argument, we bring RG3 here. What the hell is Pat Shurmur going to do to motivate a guy like RG3? You know, RG3 is an Army brat. Right. Comes from a military family. He's very disciplined guy. He never misses a day of work. I don't think Pat Shurmur has the intensity to coach a guy like RG3. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think so. I think Shurmur, he made a lot of rookie mistakes as a head coach this year. But you got to also understand, he came on his coaching staff, and Colt McCoy was his quarterback. He's never had the chance to bring in somebody into his system who he really, really wants to develop. I really honestly believe he feels Colt McCoy is not the guy for my system. If you just look at a lot, I mean, and you look at a lot of his press conferences, Shurmur say, you know, some of the guys were not on the same page as me. I made mistakes, they made mistakes, and that all tells me a lot of times Colt McCoy just didn't. I'm not just going to blame it all on Colt McCoy, but he's your quarterback, LG.
Absolutely, he was the quarterback, and I'm not putting it all on Shurmur either.
Right.
But what I will put on Pat Shurmur is this a guy that maybe would let his ego get in the way of common sense, man?
I don't think so. I mean, bringing in Brad Childress.
Well, that's the thing.
Yes.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
He's bringing in Childress, and it's already been made clear by Shurmur himself that Pat Shurmur is still calling the plays for the Cleveland Browns this year.
But you got somebody, and Shurmur should think about this, and I'm quite sure this was one of the reasons Holmgren brought him in. He's got somebody over his shoulder that has had success as a head coach in the NFL that will take your job if you don't get it right, brother.
So you think, well, we already heard Mike Holmgren tell us that Pat Shurmur here for the long run, and there's no way that he's going to get.
On the defensive side of the ball and on the offensive side of the ball, you've got former head coaches in the NFL. Shurmur has got to get it right or they're going to pull the plug. And I'm quite sure, man, I would love to hear their honest opinion on who they want in this draft right now. I cannot wait.
I would love to hear.
I cannot wait into the NFL draft. Man, it's killing me. It's not coming fast enough.
And we got another month and a half, Kenyon.
Yeah, we got a long time to talk about this. I'm happy March 15th because I want to see some free agents come in here also. But I don't know, man. I'm talking about March 13th. I believe that's when free agency begins. So I'm interested in seeing that because that's going to tell you a lot also. If the Browns mess around and get a quarterback, Flynn, in the free agency, they're definitely not going to draft a Robert Griffin III.
Oh, absolutely.
And
not.
I don't want that. Just because he had a couple of special games.
He had one good game.
Kelly Holcomb did too.
One good game he had. That's all I can recall
Right.
from Matt Flynn. One good game. He had 6 touchdowns. I mean, it's a fluke, if anything, man.
Yeah.
It's a fluke. When you show me, we need a guy like Bernie Kosar. I mean, obviously RG3's got the far more athletic than Bernie Kosar, but Bernie Kosar was a damn consistent quarterback.
Right.
You look at the yards he threw for every season he was here as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. It was unbelievable, man. So, we need a guy that's going to be consistent in the quarterback position. Ladies and gentlemen, next Monday night, right here, live in the studio with me, we're going to be switching gears. We're going to go from the Browns to the Cleveland Indians. I can't even talk. To the Cleveland Indians with Matt Underwood from Sports Time, Ohio, is going to join us right here live. He's out in Arizona at Goodyear Park with the Tribe as we speak right now, and he's been monitoring what's going on in spring training, and we're going to have a good talk with Matt Underwood next week. I don't know if you people have been following the Indians at this spring training. We already lost Chris Perez with an injury. We lost Grady Sizemore, who hurt his back, rehabbing the knee. That was a pretty damn good guaranteed $5 million right there, huh, Kenyon?
Most definitely, man. Grady Sizemore hasn't been good. I hate to say it since steroids was legal.
Kenyon, when my wife was alive, we used to raise Cocker Spaniels, okay?
Right.
And we had a male Cocker Spaniel and the female Cocker Spaniel. And we probably had 2 or 3 litters, but every time that one dog went into heat, the male dog humped that dog so many times it threw its back out, man.
Man.
Now, I don't know if you saw Grady Sizemore's girlfriend or not,
Yes,
but I don't buy this. I don't buy this that he hurt his back rehabbing his knee. I mean, he's been
He was
missing.
trying to turn it out.
You think he was? I mean, come on, put it together, man. I mean,
I
all
don't
of a
know if
sudden,
he could turn. After watching the picture with the cup, I don't believe Grady Sizemore has what it takes to turn it out.
well, maybe he's not turning it
Now,
out.
if
with,
he had
you
a
know,
neck injury, that would be one thing.
I'm telling you, man, he's got that hot girlfriend, and who knows what happened with Grady. But to come into camp with a sore back and try to rehab your knee and blame it on that, and then have a Playboy pet like that, I'm just saying, put 2 and 2 together. He might have humped too many times and hurt his back, man. I mean,
Speaking of Playboy, man, I'm back here right now watching Lindsay Lohan in Playboy.
you could have her, man. I don't
She's got
see.
a lot of freckles. They couldn't even airbrush her freckles, man.
You know why? They would have had to get a big can of spray paint and probably cover the whole face and everything else, because she doesn't do much for me. I tell you what, man, I wonder how Danica Patrick's going to do right now. They're starting the Daytona 500. It was pushed back to 7 p.m. tonight.
Right.
And I'm not even so sure if the rain held off and they got it started, but Danica's pretty hot, man. We got a nice article on Danica Patrick. Hey, try to get more in tune to the new streaming sports talk website, folks. We got a shopping page on there for your enjoyment. If you ever shop at Amazon, we have a nice search box for you right there. Anything you need to find, you search at Amazon. It pops right up. You complete your transaction only on streamingsportstalk.com. We have some interactive articles happening. We would encourage you to please click on these articles, read them, and leave your own opinions, folks. Now, don't forget, next Monday, we have a new show airing from 3 to 4. Alex Hale, the sports genius, the Hailstorm, coming at you live right here for his inaugural show from the West Bank of the Flats. The hail will be falling in the streaming sports talk studios with the Hale Sports Genius Show. Don't miss it, ladies and gentlemen. This kid's special. He knows. He's got it. He's like a computer in his mind. We'll be back with more of the Cleveland Sports 360 show with Matt Underwood. We'll be talking Cleveland Indians right here next Monday night. Wednesday night, catch my man Kenyon Johnson and the beautiful Kenya Huff right here, 4 to 5, 5 to 5:15 with Kenya Huff. Gossip and stuff, unsportsmanlike conduct every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll see you next week. Please, ladies and gentlemen, remember the people in Chardon, Ohio tonight when you hit your knees and ask the Lord to comfort those people that went through such a tragic, tragic incident this afternoon right here in Northeast Ohio. God bless everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next week with more of the Cleveland Sports 360 show.